Hello everybody, it's Friday, May 25th. It is 4:04 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can see my computer clock here on my right. On my left is the time in sales, the Emini S&P currently trading at 2718.75. It is Memorial Day weekend, and the markets have been pretty slow last couple of days. I had some tech issues. I haven't totally rebuilt all my charts. So the Autotrader performance last couple of days has been mediocre at best, but there were a couple of standouts today, and today I want to talk about line break. On the DAX 100-tick line break chart, we have a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 8, and the sensitivity, before I was showing this, it was doing pretty well, but the sensitivity was really high, set at 14, and that was probably a mistake. I probably meant to set it at 1.4, and consequently it was pretty much taking trades in one direction because the higher time frame had an extreme high sensitivity, meaning it wasn't reacting to swings very much. So I lowered the sensitivity to a reasonable level, and this is the first day I did that, and it looks really good. You can see the swings here, how they line up, and line break did really well today. It just goes to show the DAX on a line break chart can do really well. Line break can do well on really any chart, but the DAX did really good today on line break charts and the crude, and I'm going to get to those in a second. But line break is a method that can be really effective, and our software is the only software I know of that automates the line break algorithm. And what line break does is it eliminates a lot of noise on the chart. You can see that the bars have no tails. It shows the trend of the market in a way that's easy to see, and it's quite effective. The way line break works is that you have two bars in line break. You have a reversal bar, and then you have a trend bar. The reversal bar requires a close above a number of bars back, usually 3, but it can be 4 or 5 or more, depending on the price of the security that you're trading. Then there is a trend bar, and that only requires a close above the previous bar. It's not going to show retracements here or tails. All that matters is that you get a close above the previous bar, and that continues the trend, and you can see that happening here. Anyway, this did 2462 and hit its goal. So if any of you are following this chart, I basically changed the sensitivity to 2 on this template here. And this came just shy of its goal, probably because of slippage of 2,500. So it did hit its goal and then probably had some slippage at the end. Okay, I brought back a chart that I hadn't plotted in a while, and I made some changes to the settings, but this is a 34-tick line break chart, and it was moderately active, and it had a drawdown only of about $500 or $250 per contract, and then came on strong after the US session and came up, and I believe it hit its goal of 2,000 on this one. Indeed it did, and we had one tick of positive slippage. But once again, the line break chart, the settings on this 34-tick line break chart, since the swings aren't as big, are actually pretty tight. I have a profit target of 25 ticks, but at 20 ticks I'm trailing by bars. So these are actually pretty tight settings for the DAX, and it took a few trades for it to hit its goal, but generally the trades and the idea that I chose here, trailing the stop, actually turned out pretty good. After the first level of trail stop, at 30 ticks I trailed by 2 bars, and then at 50 ticks switched to a percentage of the profit. So at 11% of the profit, which is about 6 ticks, it trailed the stop. So this hit its goal and had 1 tick positive slippage. Okay, next I plotted the crude on just a regular 1-minute line break chart, and I used a crude 987 tick line break as the settings. And I might have changed this a little bit, but the goal here is 1300, so this did 1180. It might have hit its goal and had some slippage, but nevertheless it did pretty good here. It didn't have really any drawdown. It had a little bit of a false start and pulled back to break even, and then came back with a couple of nice trades here and did 1180 for the day on, looks like 3 contracts. Okay, so I wanted to bring over a chart of the market profile, and since the 22nd, I believe, which was Tuesday, but so the 21st was Monday, the beginning of the week. The market has basically been in consolidation phase this week. Usually the week before a holiday like Memorial Day, we see some very definitive action to the upside at some point during the week, but this is kind of in a kind of forming a wedge pattern here, it looks like. If we were to draw this out, so it looks like the markets are consolidating. Again, I'm talking about the Emini S&P. So just trading in a narrow range this week. This is today right here. So the Autotrader performance this week, there was one good day, but the rest was mediocre at best, and that's okay. It happens. Trading action has been somewhat difficult. Okay, next is the NASDAQ on the Super Renko 10 tick. So the NASDAQ has been pretty consistent here, and today was no exception, although we did have a drawdown of about $800 or $400 per contract, so moderately active today in the Super Renko 10 tick, but still finishing on the positive side of the ledger at 690 on 2 contracts. Okay, the Emini S&P on a Super Renko 4 tick with, I believe, our 2 tick other time frame filter came through again today with 437.50, modest gain, but most of us would be happy to earn $400 or $500 in a session. Okay, next is the Emini S&P in a Super Renko 4 tick chart. This is only trading 2 contracts, and it looks like we had about 3 trades. This was a partial winner here, but this trade here brought us up to our goal of 750 for the day. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.